M key or the top left of your screen?
Yeah, no, my current business is Anique's Books, but that was when I lived in South Lake Tahoe and I was a small town business. So I'm pivoting and creating a partnership with a lady who is in the New York area, and I Anique's Books was based in California while I was there, but I burnt out hard, and one of the one of the ways I burnt out was being I started masking before I could talk. I'm autistic. And so that means that I started putting other people's needs before mine before I knew how to talk. Makes for a very fun life. So I just kind of blew up my life and ran away in a 20-foot trailer with two cats. And so I was doing all my work remotely by the time 2018 ended. COVID didn't change a thing to how I worked. So I was blessed for that. And yeah, I'm my mission. Bookkeeping was finding my place in the world, but after doing bookkeeping and talking to clients for 14 years now, well, with COVID, I started doing different accountability coaching services and just supporting the business owner. There's a bunch of CFOs. There's a bunch of advisors that tell you how to run a business, but nobody teaches you how to survive running a business.
Good point.
And I actually work with a few millennials, people in their 30s and 40s, who run successful businesses without burning themselves out. One of them is a restaurant owner. So, yeah.
No.
Well, but we also had we had an interesting conversation around that. His dream was that he would have multiple restaurants because that's what the people he looks up to have done. And I finally asked them, like, did those people get to spend time with their family? Did those people? And I was like, the reason I'm asking you this is because a while ago you mentioned his to-go game is really strong. That's why they did so well during COVID. And they have a take and bake. And he's thinking about making the take and bake something that he can sell to grocery stores and resell that. And I was like, the reason I'm trying to steer you away from trying to open another restaurant is I'm thinking about what I know of your priorities, right? Accountability coaching, I'm not going to hold you up to my standards. I'll hold you up to yours. I'm like, I know you like that day off minimum with your family. You're dreaming about getting your 2 days off a week with your family. That's not going to happen if you have multiple restaurants, no matter how well you hire your management. So what if we talk about that wholesale thing and we discuss like initial cost? He already has the lab in his restaurant, just use the kitchen to practice off hours. How much easier it is to find space for a commercial kitchen that doesn't receive customers on site versus finding commercial space for a restaurant, the cost, all of the things. And so just with that one question of asking him if his dream was actually going to give him the success he wanted, or if it was going to take over his life and make him hate his business, got him to readjust his long-term dreams. And it's amazing. And we talk about his issues with hiring, and I actually have restaurant experience. So, the accountability coaching is pretty much anything I know of, either through my own personal experience or through the 20 or 30 business owners that I'm working with at any given time. And it's really, really cool to literally actively be a part of so many people's success. Not because they wouldn't be successful without me, but because a little nudge here and a little nudge there turns their business into something that, instead of being a burden, it gives them what they need now, but also their long-term definition of success. How do you survive it now, and how do you survive it long-term? How do you grow? Do you have to grow the way everybody else grows? Or is your definition of success mean that you want to grow nice and slow, small and manageable, can still be very lucrative, right? Why are we when did the American dream become one single thing? Make it big. The American dream used to be whatever you want, whatever your definition of success, you can come out here and you can get that. And yeah, so that's I people, you guys don't really know me. You got to put a timer on me, especially when I'm this is so Tristan, it's my special interests right now are all around accountability coaching and the effects it has on people. And so yeah, it's amazing how you treat your employees, what you expect from your employees, whether you're supporting them or criticizing them. Those are all questions we don't ask ourselves, It's accountability coaching is something that affects every aspect of being a business owner, but then it bleeds into your personal life and you start treating the people you care about differently and looking at them differently. And it's amazing.
No, I think that's wonderful. I really agree with your perspective. And so frequently, the business owners we work with, they don't have a contemporary that they can talk to about these things. It's them, maybe a spouse, maybe a partner, but that's not the same thing. They need somebody a very safe place where there's no judgment, where, like you say, they can make it their own. And as a fractional CFO, I find that I do some of the same things that you do too. Like I'm really want people to refine that joy that they had when they first started their business. And I think you make some really great points about that. I think so often when we're dealing with small business owners, we only think about this is our niche and this is what we do, but yet we have an opportunity to make a relationship with them and to also celebrate with them when they grow, when they achieve what it is they want to achieve. And I agree with you, a well-balanced life is really important. There's that old saying, like, nobody ever had put on their tombstone, I wish I'd worked more. So,
No.
Everybody else, how do you feel? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Amy.
All right. Like with the whole hustle mentality, our identity is more and more tied into what we do and how well we're doing according to the majority definition of success, rather than what's my definition of success.
No, I think that's very true. And so many people, so many business owners, are just so, again, it's another old saying that they're a business owner that has a job and not a CEO that has a business. And that's like what you just got.
Goes to the
But so do
machine.
any of you guys, find like Siva, Mike, and Kevin, with some of your clients that you actually become more of a business coach in some ways? You have what your lane is, but then you're actually talking to them about growing their business?
Yeah, sure. But that happens a lot with business people, other business owners, and then a lot of family who want to get into business, and they, they think, oh, I'm gonna use my credit cards, and they'll find the first person that offers them something. I'm like, well, what does the business do? How much does it take? How many people does it see? What's the, you should, just because they're offering you a spot, you should actually find out what their numbers are, what they do, and because basically they're trying to hand you off a job, and so a lot of people are hungry to jump in and do stuff, and now but a lot of my wife's friends, they'll talk about real estate, and they were at the same point she is, and they never pulled the trigger. And so they sat for waiting, and so it's about taking action. So it's getting people to realize to take action, to make that first step, to whether it's to join a mastermind or find an accountability coach or make that first step, and then kind of have a systematic way to formulate a plan. But most people like to wish and hope. They will sit and watch Shark Tank. Oh man, I thought I had that idea. I could have gotten $100 million. I could have gotten $50 million. I was like, you have no idea how much sweat and tears went into that.
Right. That is so true. Very good.
Yeah.
Like how many
What about you,
times you
Mike?
hear somebody say overnight success? It took me 10 years to achieve overnight success.
Well, I mean, it's nice to be able to be there for people and to help them build their business in any way you can. And sometimes we're just cheerleaders too. Like if we're just doing bookkeeping, and I don't mean that by saying just, but if we're doing bookkeeping and accounting, we can celebrate their cash balance getting bigger, their AR going down, their sales going up. Little things like that can really make a difference. So so I find that makes me and they feel like I'm part of their team.